All right, welcome back, kings and queens. Today we are talking the OWN network. That's right, the Oprah Winfrey Network. And y'all, the ratings are in. The ratings are in. But before we get to all of that, listen, listen. Thank you. Thank you to all of you for using your voices in spite of how the executive producer of Love and Marriage Huntsville feels about us critiquing the show, giving feedback, because I have a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion that somebody's listening. And the reason why I say that is because, according to the Futon Critic, y'all, this is a TV source, this is a television resource. They released like this small article where OWN Network is actually head nodding and acknowledging African American women. And they contribute their increase in the 2024 drive by growth in key series. They're saying it's because Black women have tuned in. Now, let me ask you something. Are they a day late and a dollar short? Is it better than nothing? Are you good? Are you cool now? And we're going to go into a little bit more detail. See, Carlos, that's why it's important to not just be so harsh on your audience because you don't like what they're saying. Because OWN trumped you after you went on your Twitter rant, and OWN came out and said, listen, they didn't say it the way I'm saying it, but listen, if it had not been for the Black women on our side, tell us, where would we be? Where would we be? And we're going to talk about it. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Shiba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
All right, so let's get into it. So according to Tina Perry, the president of OWN Network, and I do believe Tina happens to be an African American female. So Tina, we appreciate the shout out. We do. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to crawl before you walk. However, we have a lot to talk about, okay, Tina? And just pull up a seat. We're going to keep it really sophisticated. We're going to keep it an open dialogue. But us folk here in the palace, we need to run a couple of things by you. But let's get back to what Miss Tina had to say. So Tina Perry, you all, the president of OWN, Oprah Winfrey Network, is expressing great pride in the network's recent growth and success, particularly among African American women, Black women, okay? You can call us Black Tina, it's okay. Among Black women viewers. And she's highlighted that their programming strategy at OWN focuses on providing content where this demographic, meaning us, Black women, where Black women can feel represented and connected. Tina, lean in. Which Tina believes is a key strength of the OWN brand. Tina, lean in. There's two adjectives you used. One was represented, the other one is connected. Now, here's the thing. Are you speaking to OWN Network, the business strategy of OWN Network, or are you speaking specifically to the business strategy of Love and Marriage Huntsville? And the reason why I ask you that, because for quite some time, Love and Marriage Huntsville was your number one show on the Oprah Winfrey Network. Taking that into consideration and placing that alongside your programming strategy, which focuses on providing content where Black women can feel, number one, represented. I'm not trying to be unprofessional here, Miss Tina. And number two, connected. I think we may have missed a mark somewhere. You know what? Give me a second. Give me a second. Sorry, y'all. Work with me. I did not want Miss Tina to think that we are unprofessional here in the palace. I'm trying to put on my best face. But I'm sorry, Miss Tina, because I think there may be a misconnect between the programming strategy and the audience, because we cannot not take Love and Marriage Huntsville into consideration. We have to, because that was your number one show for a number of years. And for a number of years, you've missed the mark to connect with your predominantly female audience, who happen to be a very dynamic group of Black women. Okay. I'm going to let that linger for a few seconds. Y'all just work with me. I'm gonna let that linger for a few seconds because what's happened, Miss Tina, is that we felt so disconnected to what we were seeing as it relates to the programming on our television. There were actually people that decided to black out of watching and they boycotted your number one show. And as a result, I can't help but to question if that is the why, is if that's the reason why you did not see a sustainable increase in the ratings for Love and Marriage Huntsville, and they were not called out on the 2024 of your list of shows, returning shows that have increased ratings among your Black female audience. Is that fair to say, y'all? Now, help me out in the chat if I've missed something, okay? Now, a couple of key points that Miss Tina did outline that were included in their programming strategy was number one, a strong audience growth. They're aiming to grow their audience. Number two, lean in programming. Okay. Number three, she says representation matters. And number four, brand power. I just want to lean in into, let's talk a little bit about strong audience growth. I think you did that. I think you did a really good job of that coming out the box with the release of Love and Marriage Huntsville. However, I think the misconnect or the disconnect comes from after you grew the audience, there were no touch points. And how do you measure the satisfaction of the engagement and the satisfaction of the viewer? And I feel like growth is good, but where's the midpoints, the touch points that like where you can really have a way to gauge the interest of the audience and allow the audience by and this is what I mean, allow our feedback to speak to our preferences. What did you do as it relates to being proactive when you saw a dip in the ratings for Love and Marriage Huntsville, your number one show? What strategies did you have in place to overcome that to get those ratings back up? So I think it's important that you do have a strategy for strong audience growth. And it says, OWN is celebrating significant increases in viewership, specifically among African American women. And that's great that we are here and that you know we are here. But what we're asking is that we need you to listen to us when we speak. Therefore, we'll know that the investment and the buy-in is there. Now, let's go to the second bullet point, which is quote unquote the lean in programming. And this lean in, my Texas accent, LEAN, the lean in programming, right? This refers to the content that actively engages viewers by providing relatable stories and characters that they can identify with. Now, that's where we have a problem. And I really think you missed the mark on that for Love and Marriage Huntsville, leaning in. And it seemed like you guys completely leaned away from us past season three, four, five, maybe. You started to lean away. I'm going to say maybe between season 3 and 4. Now, if the lean in strategy is to provide relatable stories and characters that we can identify with, my question to you is, why is Martell Holt still a main cast member? Why is Maurice Scott and Kimmy Scott still main cast members? If you want to be deeply connected to the Black women, the audience at one point could no longer relate specifically to Martell Holt. And you rewarded him by taking him on a press tour alongside your executive producer, Carlos King, to help clean up his image. And he still was no longer relatable. He still was not anything that we could identify with as an audience, specifically women. He's been found guilty. He pled guilty to DV, third party harassing communications, and yet he's still allotted the opportunity to come on the show. We have questions if you have answers. I would love to speak to you in a more formal fashion if you would be open to it. Third bullet point is representation matters. It does. If this is you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. So under that bullet point, Perry emphasizes that the network's success with African American women is due to their commitment to showcasing stories that reflect their experience. Um, a man telling his wife who's been diagnosed with cancer to roll over, take it, and suffered through it is not something that reflects to our own personal experiences. The audience was outraged, and yet you did not address that that was very irresponsible of him. That is not representative of the brand, nor is it representative of the 95% of your Black female audience that tunes in. And as a matter of fact, I would think you would have done more of a cleanup job, being that Black women are the highest category of women to be diagnosed with breast cancer. Not only breast cancer, the most aggressive forms of it. And to have a man make fun of the fact that he needs sex every single day while his wife was fighting the most toughest battle, one of the toughest battles of her life, right? As she fought to live, like many Black women do, and many don't make it. How come OWN did not step? Based on that, you all, what are your thoughts? Regarding Tina Perry's acknowledgement that Black women have contributed to the success of the Oprah Winfrey Network. I'll pause. Yeah, so I wanna cite this article. I wanna shift and cite an article from Hype magazine, right? And Own Network. They are celebrating premiere ratings because they have noticed a notable rise in its 2024 prime premiere ratings, reflecting its ongoing connection with this core audience. That's you all. I don't want that to go over your head. That's you. You are the core audience, not only of Own Network, you are the core audience of YouTubers, content creators. I remind you of that each and every day, how valuable you are, and how you should utilize your voice to evoke change if you see something that you do not like. I'm allowing that to marinate for a little bit because I don't think you realize how powerful you are, how important you are to the success of a lot of people's businesses. So don't let people just treat you any kind of way, Black woman. And I said what I said. Now, to my dear Black women, the core audience of Own Network, viewership among Black women between the ages 25 to 54 grew by 3%. Listen, that does not sound like a lot, but that is a lot when it comes to data and analytics, okay? That's the viewership. Those of you that are tuning in, while engagement among African American women 25 to 54 surged by 6%. So overall, they saw a 9% increase of Black women tapping in, pulling up to support the name Oprah Winfrey Network, right? Even though Oprah does not own a majority of the stock, it's the fact that her name is on it that we are pulling up as Black women. So, congratulations to them. And it says, as a home for authentic storytelling and dynamic explorations of Black relationships, OWN has seen all its key series gain tractions with the audiences. Now, this is where you need to pay attention. The word is key series. Key series, and let me cite those for you based on this article. We're going to move down to the column where it says returning favorites continue to thrive. Several fan favorite owned series posted season over season ratings gains among women 25 to 54, reinforcing the network's reputation for delivering compelling content. Number 1, Ready to Love, season 9. 8% increase. Number 2, Bell Collective, season 4, they saw an 8% increase. Number 3, I'm sorry, Bell Collective, season 5, they saw a 36% increase. And Love and Marriage Detroit, season 3, they saw a 4% increase. Reflecting on the network's continued success, OWN President Tina Perry expressed gratitude for the growing audience engagement, declaring, "We're incredibly proud of the growth and success we've seen." And of course, I read that earlier, particularly among African American women. This achievement underscores our ability to provide our audience with lean in programming where they see themselves and demonstrate the power of our brand. We don't see ourselves on Love and Marriage Huntsville. We don't see ourselves with cancer being abused allegedly by our husband because he has such an intensified need for sex that I'm not able to heal in peace as a woman. We don't see ourselves on the screen with one of your main cast couples, mothers calling us B's, H's, and you get what I'm saying, Miss Tina? We don't see ourselves in some of the people that you've depicted on the show. Now, I'm just giving you that feedback, Miss Tina. It's up to you to choose how you would like to engage us and how you would like to move forward. Now, I'm going to say this, y'all. Let me go back. Several fan favorite owned series posted season over season ratings gains among women 25 through 54. Love and Marriage Huntsville did not make that cut. There has not been a season over season gain, Carlos. And according to your Twitter post, you claim that it was, but the survey says that's not true because it did not make the list that OWN has cited as being Love and Marriage Huntsville being a successful show for 2024. See, that's the thing, Miss Tina. There seems to be a disconnect between you all as a network and your executive producer. Now, we can help you with that. I'm very easy to find. If you would like to get a focus group set up, listen, I'm down for it. Whatever you need that I can help you so that we can have more extensive conversations about what the audience would like to see, what resonates in the market with Black women, and how you can move forward with our continued support.